Welcome to Life, Lessons, and Legacy, the podcast where we delve into the stories that shape our lives and the lessons we carry forward. I'm your host, Cedric D. Nelson, and I'm excited to embark on this journey of discovery, growth, and inspiration with you. Whether you're seeking motivation, guidance, or simply a moment of reflection, Life, Lessons, and Legacy is here to accompany you on your quest for fulfillment and purpose. So sit back, open your mind, and let's embark on this transformative journey together. So, we might kind of cover this though. What life lessons have you?
Oh wow, so many lessons. I'm gonna go back to what is embedded in me.
Okay.
That God will,
Mm-hmm.
fill in the blank.
Mm-hmm.
That's the major lesson that I've learned, pretty much like what you were just talking about. I started out writing a book
Mm-hmm.
and I know it could help some people. Then I thought about it because it would help me to remember a lot of things too.
Mm-hmm.
And then I turned back and I was like, well, God did that, He's my foundation when whatever it was that I was going through at that point in time, whether it was check to check, trying to,
Mm-hmm.
you know, rob Peter, as they say, to pay Paul, that MLG and W bill that just would never go away.
Right.
I'd love to see zero balances now. If I don't see one on nothing else, I love to see a zero light bill balance. You don't
Mm-hmm.
know what that does for me, for real. Uh the lessons that I learned is just you go back to your faith.
Mm-hmm.
You go back to the God that you believe in and the God I serve.
Mm-hmm.
He's gonna do it every time.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't saying that it's been easy, it hasn't.
Right.
I'm not gonna say that, I didn't have friends that are no longer there.
Mm-hmm.
Um, like I said, I've moved a couple of times.
Mm-hmm.
I'm no longer married.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of things. Life changes.
Mm-hmm.
But I learned that through it all, I went back to who kept me.
That's it.
That's the biggest lesson.
Mm-hmm. That's it. You know.
Now, when I have, I don't know if I mentioned, I have two master's degrees. So
Okay.
when I was studying for one of my master's degrees, I had to take a class on listening.
Mm-hmm.
And you think you know how to listen, but
Mm-hmm.
do you really? I learned how to listen. Listening has helped me in everything I do, in relationships. Listening has helped me with real estate because if a person tell me they want a big kitchen,
Mm-hmm.
there's no need for me to show them the little tiny one that they can barely turn around in.
Right. Right.
You know what I mean? You
Mm-hmm.
have to listen to what people say they want.
Mm-hmm.
You have to listen to um, your own heart, what you want.
Mm-hmm.
So I've learned to listen and I don't settle for things because I listen to what my body and my mind is saying that I want. So
Mm-hmm.
that's the other lesson I can say that I've learned.
Okay. Well, my grandmother told me something, kind of piggyback off what you said. When I was younger, my grandma took me to church, and she said, one of the reasons why I take you to church so much is because there's going to be a time in your life where I'm not going to be here. I
Mhm,
love you, but I can't live forever. And you're going to need someone or something to fall back on.
mhm.
And she said, that's where God comes in.
Yeah,
He's always going to be there. Even when he feels like he's not there, he's there. He's always going to be there to help you, to guide you. And if you listen to the lessons that he left for us, your life will be so much easier. So when hearing your story, you're talking about God and God always being present, always being there. It took me back to my grandmother talking about that very thing. Like, baby, look, I can't be here. I love you unconditionally. I tell my
yeah,
kids, but I can't be here forever. But I'm going to help you learn about somebody that can always be here for you. Because with times, like you said, when you paycheck to paycheck, relationships not going well, health
yeah.
wise, losing people, there's times where it's so dark you can't even talk to your friends.
Right.
Or your friends you think are friends, they may be associates. You kind of find out they're associates. When you're so broken, and all you can do is drop down to your knees and start praying to God. You
Hmm.
know, and if you don't think about it, I told you we talked about earlier, think about the people who don't have a relationship with God. When times get that tough, who do you turn to? Because they don't know to turn to God.
They don't know what to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's sad. It's a sad time. But that's true. Sometimes they just don't know what to do. Even with some friends, when you say you turn to the friends, sometimes the friends aren't equipped to give you what you need. You know, so I'm gonna tell you, I went through that phase. Even when after my dad passed, I'm a daddy's girl. I'm the president of the Daddy's Girl Club.
You and my daughter, don't feel bad, and my wife, don't feel bad. All of daddy's girls, don't feel bad. Yeah.
And so that was a mourning period for me. It was hard. And I went, a lot of people don't even know this. I went 8 months unemployed. I had to get my grieving out. And I never missed a house payment. I never missed a light bill. I never missed a truck payment because of God. He kept me. You know what I mean? And it wasn't nothing I could do. I couldn't ask family and friends to, when they got their own to do.
Right.
But he had me in a place where I was able to do what I needed to do and take that time off to heal.
Yep.
I always love this song by Bishop Clean, as they call him. And it says, accept what God allows. If you haven't heard it, you got to go and listen to it.
Check it out.
Bishop Clean with Twinkie Clark. I'm a Clark Sisters fan as well. I grew up in the church. I told you so. I mean, I listened to some other stuff, but gospel is my definitely grounding.
I just wrote it down too. I'm gonna check it out.
Yes, and he talks about, you know, some grieving that was going on, but he had to learn to accept what God allows. And I think everything that has happened in my life all the way up to this point, it has made me who I am. I'm better. I'm stronger. I don't think there's anything that if I put my mind to it that I can't do. I had to speak at my dad's funeral. Didn't think I was going to be able to do it. My sister, she warned me if I see a sniffle. She said she was going to treat me like Sandman. She was going to come up there and push me off the stage. It was the hardest thing I could have ever done, but I wanted everybody to know because he was a community leader. He was, you know, he was into a community activist. He was an educator. You know, people knew him from as a preacher standpoint, but no one knew him as daddy like we did.
Right.
And I want them to know, you know, hey, this was my daddy and this is how he was. And when I finished, I felt so empowered. I said, that's what I needed, to know that I was going to be all right. Now that my dad is gone, he's put things in me that was going to help me, keep me, and I was going to be all right. So once my healing was over, here I am, y'all.
Yep.
Here I am, Tonji the realtor. That's my new.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
So
and you did it proud.
Hopefully my new marketing point that I'm gonna.
It'll work. Yeah, it'll work. You know, and you did him proud. I think by you speaking on his behalf at the funeral, it did him proud. I lost my brother, and I didn't get a chance to speak. It was during COVID, so they kind of, you know, it's kind of quick. But I did speak it, and that's one of my regrets not speaking. And I spoke at my grandmother's funeral. Like you said, it's one of those things like you just want to do them proud. And for your speech, you talking about speaking about your father, it seems like you did him proud. And I'm sure he's extremely proud of, and you think about it, you're carrying his legacy on by the stuff you're doing and by your program. And just I don't know. I tell people it's something about fathers and daughters. you know, it's like you say, he instilled so much in you. I'm sure he was hard on you, but he can only be so hard on you because again, you're this little girl and you know, y'all.
Well, being the oldest, I tease my siblings and tell them, well, you know, he's loved me longer. That they couldn't fight with that one.
Right.
I'll throw that out there. And it's funny because all of them are musically inclined. And being the oldest, you know, I'm the guinea pig. They tried everything with me. Nope, none of that picked up. They wasted their money. Now, when it comes down to talking and meeting people, I'm my daddy's child. My mom said that was your gift right there. We were wasting our money on other stuff. Yes, you were.
Oh, that's
Yes,
funny.
you were. But I like I said again, I love really, I can't even stress it enough. I hope and I believe every client that I've ever had have gotten the good service from me. I'm
Mhm,
not saying I'm perfect because I've had some people, we struggled along the way.
mhm,
And I didn't think they would even call me again, but they would
mhm.
call and refer a friend. And I was like, oh,
Be
okay, I
something,
guess
right?
they were okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess they worked out all right. So
Okay. Well, I have a question, and I think I know the answer because what we were just talking about. But so my question is, who has been the single most inspirational person in your life, past or present?
I'm gonna say both of my parents.
Okay.
Okay. Um, my dad, like I said, I was a daddy's girl. So with parents both being teachers, they allowed me to go to whomever's school I wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
So I would tag along sometimes with my dad, even though he'll forget that he's got me and be halfway home. We didn't have cell phones back then, so he just had to figure it out.
Turn
And
around.
he knew he can go home without me though, and he would eventually come back
Uh,
and pick me up. Um, but they taught me, also about um, leadership and everybody can't be a leader. You're a leader in your own time, in your own place.
Mhm,
And they also taught me, definitely my faith and family and being able to support, because PLUM wouldn't be what it is if we didn't support each other. Everybody has a job to do. When
mhm,
we started it, it was back in 2006,
mhm,
I believe. I call myself the public relations person. That was my job, right down my line.
mhm,
My other sister, Tani, she wrote grants, you know. My other sister, Terry, she was about the law. So she
mhm.
was trying to figure all that out. And my brother did that as well. He would go and do the networking and find the people that we needed to be in touch with. So we
Okay.
knew we had to work together in
Mhm,
order to get it to grow, and
mhm,
it took time. Right now, it's doing very well with helping, like I said, with the Delta with different things from giving out car seats to meals to transportation. We're growing. We're not where we want to be,
right.
but we're still growing. And that comes from our families, our parents teaching us you work together as a family.
Mhm.
That's I think that's the family unit isn't what it used to be,
That's nice.
unfortunately.
Mhm,
you know um even with now I can say this, even though with me being divorced, my husband, he don't like me to call him that, but my husband and I
They like to be called that, huh?
he's remarried and we all have a blended families.
Mhm,
We can go places together and do it for the kids, and I'm not upset or angry, and she's not, his wife Paula's not upset or angry, he's
mhm,
not upset or angry, and we have children that's in this bunch and we love them all.
mhm,
So I thank God for that.
mhm.
We ain't always been in that level, but I thank God for where we are, you know what I
Right,
mean?
right.
We got to help grow,
Mhm.
together. So
And I think that goes a long way with showing like when you're selfless, when you realize like it's not about me, it's about my children. Because I tell people all the time, as a parent, when you have kids, your life technically isn't about you anymore. Not for the next 18 years or so, because most
even
of you,
past that, hello.
you're right, because most stuff you
If
do
you're
is
not
going to be for
changing the
them.
locks on the doors, they come back.
That's it. And come back with the same expectations. We hungry?
Yeah,
Do you have some money?
right.
Can I stay here? Can I use your washer and dryer? You're like, don't you have all your own?
Exactly.
So, but I think that's great, and it shows the maturity for both of y'all for the whole blended family thing because
Yeah.
it's a family. It's like
Hmm.
we're all gonna be here for each other. Because I tell people, like you say, the family dynamic isn't what it used to be,
No, it's not.
and it should be because there's a time I tell people all the time, like your family is all you got. There's some people that, some people treat their friends better than they treat their own family, which is crazy.
Yeah, that
But
is
you
crazy.
should lean on your
Hmm.
family, like, and I think it's amazing that you and your siblings have built something together. You know, I mean, that's the
Yeah,
legacy.
it is. That's it. That's it. And I don't want us to sound like the Brady Bunch
Mhm.
because we're not. We're
Right.
just as normal as everybody else. Mom has threatened all of us. So we're, I don't want y'all to think that at all. If y'all know us,
Right, right. But that's good because that's just real life. Like, look,
Mhm.
we're doing this, we're successful, but we're still siblings. And
Right.
siblings still bump heads. We're
Right.
all human. We got our own issues,
We
our
all
own.
have our own personalities.
That's it. But with family, at least you know who you're dealing with. You're like, okay, I know
Yeah.
my brother is gonna be this way, or my other sisters are gonna be this way. So
Mhm.
that helps a lot.
Exactly. Same with my kids.
Yep.
I told they have twin daughters, and they was like, "Oh, they look alike. They look just alike." I said, "Well, they're fraternal."
Mhm.
I said they may look alike, but they're totally different.
Right.
I've got the diva, and then I
Mhm.
got my flower child, and then Sean is right down the middle. He's my nerd. So, and they know their names.
Right. They know, huh?
And they do well with it. So I can't make, I don't want to mold or make them. They're doing well
Mhm.
on what they're doing. I thank God for that. Like I said, people tell me, "Oh, I met your son, I met your daughter, and oh, Taj, they was on." I said, "Oh, thank you. I'm glad
Mhm.
that I don't have to, say, oh, well, did they have a cigarette hanging out their mouth?
Right. Right.
Where, you know what I mean? Were they
Mhm.
drinking and not the, I'm not
Right.
trying to put anybody else's kids down, but I know
Right.
I love mine."
Right. Right.
Okay.
Yeah. But no, that's a great thing. I tell my kids all the time, like, you're part of my legacy. Like,
Mm-hmm.
what I instill in you, every generation should get better. I'm
Yeah.
gonna do my part. I need you to
Yes.
do your part so that my grandchildren can do their part and my great
Yes.
grandchildren, and it keeps going down the line. I say, no one who is successful was overnight. Sometimes this stuff takes generations. It takes generations to break some
Exactly.
generational issues you might have back in the day. So I'm gonna do my part, you do your part, and the knowledge I pass on to you, you pass on to my grand, and such on. So
Set the foundation,
that's
right?
it. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
So my next question, I don't have two more. I promise I won't hold you forever.
Okay.
So what do you think about legacy? Like, what legacy do you want to leave behind when your time is done with your family and just, I guess, with the world as in general?
I've thought about this, especially since the passing of my dad.
Mhm.
Because what we put on his tombstone was, "Well done, thou faithful servant." Because church was everything to him.
Mhm.
Education in church, he did it to his fullest.
Okay.
So I want my legacy to be that in real estate and technology, that the things that I do, that she did it to her
Mhm.
fullest.
Mhm.
That I didn't skip on no edges with anybody because I
Mhm.
was going to get an extra $100 here.
Mhm.
I want it to be said that I tried my best at whatever it was. If I was trying to find that $20,000 house with 5 bedrooms and 2,000 square, I tried my best. I tried. And trust me, I've been in those situations.
I'm sure. I'm sure.
But I want it to be said that it wasn't about the money. Now, I
Mhm.
love the money.
Mhm.
When I get paid, I love it.
Right.
Thank God he has favor on me.
Uh-huh.
But I wanted to also be said it's because of it my word means something to me, my job means something to me.
Mhm.
And I don't want, you know, my legacy to be ruined with, well, she was just out to get a dollar.
Mhm.
I want y'all to know I
Mhm.
do it because I love doing it and I
Mhm.
enjoy the happiness that it brings to other people.
Mhm.
It showers on me as well.
Mhm. Well,
I want them to know that I love my family. I
mhm.
have so many aunties and uncles. I love all of them.
Mhm.
And it's funny, we'll say, "Oh, I'm your favorite." They can't say that. Well,
Right.
first cousins, I have a total of, I want to say like 53, 54 first cousins.
Wow.
I can't even go past that. So many, it's so many of us. But I love family, and I want that to be said, part of my legacy that she definitely, I try to get to know people.
Mhm.
Facebook for me is for me to be able to touch and reach family members.
Mhm.
That's what I use Facebook for, to
Okay.
see people I can't see all the time, to
Mhm.
know how everybody is doing. We stay in touch that way. That's the tool that I use it for.
Okay.
And that's what I want to leave behind for my kids, to be able to um, trust and believe in family, trust and believe in God,
Mhm.
and then family, and to know to do right by people.
Okay. I like that. I like that. And you do right by people, God does right by you. You know,
Mhm.
I think that's one of the biggest legacies we can leave. It's just
Right.
instilling all those things you talk about in your children and the next generation. And I love it that your family is so big and y'all are so close knit.
Mhm.
And 11, my numbers might be off. I may take that part out of the spot because my numbers might be off. Somebody gonna get me. But you know, but I hate that for my kids when we moved to Memphis, it's just the four of us. And I grew up around all my cousins. Most of my cousins were like brothers and sisters. Matter of fact, all of my younger cousins, my cousins' kids, they all call me Unc. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, all of them I'm Unc. Like it may be my cousin, second, third, fourth, it doesn't matter. I'm Unc,
Right.
you know, because we all grew up like siblings, you know, and
Right.
we fought together, we fought each other, we ran
Mhm.
around together, you know, we watched out for each other. And I hate that my kids didn't get it because it is something about that family unit where y'all can have a knockdown drag out now, and then 5 minutes later you outside defending each other.
Right.
You know, so family legacy is huge. I like it. I love your story about your family, about y'all starting PLUM, and about you
Mhm.
doing real estate. It's funny because, you know, I work in behavior services, so I talk to people all the time, and I guess a lot of times you know a lot about people without them actually telling you, just by listening to people. So
Uh-huh.
it's funny because hearing you talk about real estate, I can tell that really is your passion. I can tell like this is really what makes you tick. It's not like, okay, so I mean it's a nice check, but it's not about the check. It's about, I really help this person again that look for the
Yeah.
$20,000 house with 5 bedrooms, 2,000 square feet on 10 acres, with brand new
Yes.
floors, you know. But
Uh-huh.
but
I
but
never tell them they can't do it.
right, you know, you be like, let's go look at some stuff. I'm gonna show you what's out
Right.
here.
I'm gonna see what we can get. We gonna get as close to it as we can.
Right,
And then when they start to see, oh, this might
right,
not work this way. Let me try something different.
right.
That's the learning right
Yeah,
there. That's the
that's it.
learning.
Hey, Taj, when they get out there and it doesn't have a roof on it, you like,
Right.
yeah, it's 5 bedrooms and 2,000 square feet, but it's been rained on for the
Right.
last
It
2
is in your
years.
price range.
Oh God,
Exactly.
that's funny. I will say I dabble in real estate a little bit myself as far as investing. Like you said, it's some of the expectations and what they want. I don't know if they watched House Hunters or whatever they watched, but I'm like, nah, you got to understand like what's really out here. And they're not going to be fixing in 2 to 3 days. So I need you to
Right.
understand that, like that turnaround time isn't that. So anyway.
And the value, the property value, people don't understand the property value.
Mhm,
I've had clients to sell their houses for less because they're looking at the tax assessor value.
mhm. Right.
You want the tax assessor to be lower.
Mhm.
That's not your property value. That's
Right.
not your appraised value of your home.
Exactly.
And that's confusing for folks. And that's how a lot of people get ripped off.
Mhm.
You
They
know,
don't know
just
any
not
better.
knowing, and not the knowledge, not understanding what's
Mhm,
going on. And that's the part that I also like, that's
mhm.
where my educational part kicks in, because I'm able to help teach how this goes and what's the next step. And I don't mind people call, text me. That's the part I'm learning to cut off. When do I cut off? My hours are,
Right, right.
so that's the part right there that I got to work on that. But for the most part, I mean, I don't mind answering.
Mhm.
And like I said, if I don't know the answer, I'm gonna find it out for you. So that's the part of education. I'll be dismissed if I did not mention my mom's family, who was also just as large as my dad's, not quite.
Okay.
It was 11 of them, and they were on a farm as well. So like I said, family has taught me so much. And when you look at farmers, they're entrepreneurs. They've got to balance everything out. They got to be able
Mhm.
to spend enough money on equipment, enough money on feed or seed, and then you got to harvest.
Mhm.
Oh, and in between time, when it's not harvest time, you got to figure it all out. So
Yep.
they were doing this shuffle here, years ago
Mhm.
and don't get the credit for it that they should.
Mhm.
And I think that's also, it rounds it all back around for me.
Mhm.
The land,
Mhm.
real estate. It brings
Mhm.
it all back around in circle for me. So I love the whole aspect of it.
Yeah. Well, it's also important because I know myself personally when I first started off, I sold a couple of properties for way too cheap,
Mm-hmm.
way less than what it was probably appraised at. Because again, being young, you look at the
Yeah.
assessor's website, you're like, okay, and they offer you something. Then you turn what's crazy, you sell it for say 40, and then you look up and like 2 months later, that somebody's selling it for 140. You're like,
Right.
it's the same house.
Yeah.
They put some paint on top of it. They put some gutters on it and slap a coat
Right.
of paint on it. You're like, it's the same.
And
So,
unfortunately, like during right after COVID,
mhm,
everything was a hot spot. It was actually a seller's market
mhm,
when the seller could pretty much name the price.
right,
And because of supply and demand,
mhm,
we would have these bidding wars going on, and it got crazy.
yeah, I
It
remember.
it really got crazy. I was blessed to be able to help a lot of people, buy houses and
Mhm,
I'm not gonna tell my technique, but
gotcha.
not have to pay, those outrageous
Mhm.
prices or not be mad at me now.
Right, when things kind of settle down, you're like,
Right, when they kind of settling down a little bit.
yeah,
So, but I thank God, like I said, it because it's totally different. If you started selling real estate 30 years ago, this wasn't the same market. You had to shift up, you had to be able to be creative when you
mhm,
started putting your offers in and
mhm,
making contracts. So
mhm,
it's a lot of learning.
yeah.
A
Well,
lot.
yeah. Well, like in '08 when the housing market kind of crashed, like I said, I
Yes.
tell people like people don't understand, but if you understand real estate, you realize there's opportunities there as well. But
Mhm.
but if you don't know, you don't know. But again, I got in and kind of dabbled and figured things out as I went. But had I known you, of course, I probably could have saved myself a lot of money.
We
But
would have been still in it.
yeah, exactly right. So because I thought
It's
about
never too late, Cedric.
well, don't worry. I was going to tell you, we're going to talk outside this pod because I'm thinking about
Okay.
maybe getting my real estate license or just doing something. I just want to do something in real
Yeah.
estate. And we'll talk outside the pod, but I have some other real estate
Okay.
stuff that I want to do. And I'll definitely get with you. I definitely will. Yeah.
I
But
encourage it. I
yeah.
do.
Well, I tell people all the time also, like, that's what we do, help each other. And we help each other with knowledge. Like, I've gained knowledge in my field. You gain knowledge in your field.
Exactly.
There's nothing wrong with people helping each other. You'll help
It
me.
makes no
Then
sense for me to hold it.
exactly. You'll help me,
It
and then
makes
I'll turn
no
around and help
sense.
you, and vice versa.
Mm,
Like I said, no, makes no sense to hold on to it and just like,
mm-mm.
you know, that's crazy. Life is funny, and the way God works. Even meeting people, like you being, talking about the speech and me talking to Miss English, and then talking to you about being on the pod. It's just life. Yeah, it's weird
Yeah.
because you think you got to figure it out, and then God be like, "No, don't worry, I got something for you. Let me show you something." And and you end up on the podcast. So my
Which this
last
is my first podcast, by the
is
way.
it
Yes,
okay?
thank you so much.
Well, you're
I
welcome. You're
appreciate
welcome.
it.
You're welcome.
I'm
I've enjoyed
camera shy, believe it or not. I do not. I do not do cameras. When we were first starting out in PLUM
it. Hmm.
and we would have a lot of the, stuff taped, I have to find a video and show it to you. You're not gonna
Okay.
recognize me. And we would be take
Mhm.
number 15, take. So hopefully we get a good one,
Yeah,
good
yeah,
one
yeah.
doing this.
Yeah, but you done great. Like I said, we talked about it. We'll talk outside the pod, but yeah, you've done great. I like what you're talking about. You're very passionate about what you're talking about, and it's a great story. Your story is going to be very inspirational to somebody, just from the
I
family
hope
aspect,
so.
from your parents, and even I know losing your father. I mean, think about the aspect of him hearing what you're saying now, or your mom as well. Just like, okay, we did our job. We did our job. We poured into
Yeah, I
her.
hope they're not scared to call me their daughter.
Exactly. Like that's your child. What's your due date? Like what y'all still doing? So
Right.
so no. So that's good. That's great. So last question again. I want because I know I'm a
Okay.
talker. You're a talker. We'll go ahead to the next
Mhm.
2 hours. So your time to shine. Any websites, events, products, anything you want to promote. It's on you.
Okay, so I'm like in the process of changing my brand,
Okay.
Tonji the Realtor.
Mhm.
So right now I just have the Facebook account and page where people can go and reach me there. I don't have a problem with you emailing me at tonjtherealtor@gmail.com. Like I said, I work for EXP Realty, so you can also find me there on their website, and I can share other things for you to post so that people can be able to just click on it.
Okay. Well, again, I appreciate it. And definitely, once you send me the information, I will attach it to this podcast.
Okay.
Anything I can do to help, I tell people, anything I can do to help you, let me know. If you need to come back on the show and you got an upcoming event with PLUM or whatever you get an open house,
Okay.
whatever it is,
Maybe
just let
I
me
can
know.
introduce you to my brother.
Okay, that'd be perfect.
Yeah.
That'd
And
be
he
perfect.
can talk more about Plum as well.
Okay, let
He
me
does
know.
it full time now, so he can
Okay,
help shine a little bit more light to that. If
okay.
I can tear him away from the baby.
Well, it's gonna be kind of hard. They got a newborn. Yeah, it's gonna be kind of hard right now.
Newborn, and it's a boy.
Oh yeah. He's trying to give him a
So
football, a
he has an
basketball.
8-year-old daughter,
Yeah.
and he and his wife do, but all of them are now crowding around the baby.
Yep.
So
Yep.
yeah. So,
Yeah. Got an air. So yeah, it's gonna be hard to get away. Maybe a couple months down the road, but whenever he's
okay.
ready, just let me know. I got him.
Okay, cool. That sounds good.
All right. Well, again, I'm gonna wrap it up. I thank you again. I'm honored to have you on the show. I look forward to working with you and networking with you later on. And again, having you
Yeah.
back on. Just let me know.
All right. Maybe we can do a buyer's class.
Sounds even better.
Okay.
All
Sounds
right.
good. Thank you, Cedric. Have a good
Thank
one.
you. Thank you too.
Thank you for joining me on this episode of Life Lessons and Legacy. I hope you found our discussion thought-provoking and inspiring. If you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to subscribe to the podcast and leave a review. Your feedback helps us to improve and reach more listeners like you. Remember, life is a journey of growth and discovery, and every experience, both the highs and the lows, contributes to the legacy we leave behind. So embrace each moment, cherish the lessons, and live with purpose. You can find more resources, including my book, Life Lessons and Legacy: How to Take Life's Lessons and Shape Your Legacy, available for purchase on my website at www.lifelessonsandlegacy.com, also available on amazon.com. On my website, you'll also discover information about my life coaching services and speaking engagements designed to help you unlock your full potential and live a life full of purpose. I'm Cedric D. Nelson. Until next time, take care, and I'll see you soon.